Whenever and wherever you saw Jim Lynch, you were looking at the real Santa Claus. His heart was that big for his family, his friends and associates, and strangers. He was a giver, not a taker. Well-known Frontier Days and nature photographer Randy Wagner worked and hung out with Jim for 35 years. Those two photographers, like peas and carrots, were a real piece of work at the rodeo shoots at Cheyenne Frontier Days.
Jim has a personality like no other. You know, he's just a magnetic personality. You gotta like the guy. He knows everybody. He knows everything. He's always willing to work. He's always there. Just a great guy. Just, you know, the kind of guy you don't meet very often, but we're always glad you did.
Joining Jim and Randy on the Frontier Days Public Relations Committee 25 years ago was a young Jeff White, now a Cheyenne City Councilman from the same ward that Jim represented back in the mid-90s. White says Jim's biggest accomplishment was starting Coats for Kids many years ago out of the PR building at CFD. Growing up in South Boston, Jim knew what it was like to be out in the cold without a warm coat.
He knew what it was like to go without during the winter months, and he always remembered that. And it stuck with him, and when he had the opportunity to try and do something about it in our community, he did. And he did it very well. And that's certainly something that he would want to be remembered for.
Jim was also Mike Sullivan's personal photographer. The former governor and ambassador to Ireland had this to say about Jim. Jim Lynch brightened a room with his positivity, his quiet intellect, and his hard-to-hide Boston Irish heritage. He was a gentle giant who was of great help to me, a friend to so many, and Cheyenne and Wyoming are in better places for his presence, end quote. Jim was also inducted into the Cheyenne Frontier Days Hall of Fame a couple of years ago.
He was very colorful character, and I thought the world of him, and I still can't believe it. Still can't believe we've lost him.
He was a great photographer, always there. And that was not all. Anything that needed to be done, Jim was there to help. Never missed a meeting. He was always here for every time we had a project going on. Jim was right in the middle of it. We miss him. We're going to miss him a lot.
Rest in peace, Jim. You were the real deal. Robert Jiha, Cowboy State Daily.